Okay, I'm going to do at least one of these two problems in this video. We'll see how long it takes. I think I can do both of them. And so I'll start with the first one. It says to rewrite the following statements using only not and and. And here I have an or, and I have implications, and here I have a double implication or an if and only if statement. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to remember that an if-then statement is equivalent to there's an equivalent or statement. And I remember that either P or not P is always true, and if P is true then Q is true, so I can say either not P is true or Q is true. And that's going to be equivalent to if P then Q. Let's just double check that. If P then Q is only false when I have a true premise and a false conclusion, and otherwise it's true. Now, not P or Q is going to be true whenever Q is true. That's on rows 2 and 4. And it's going to be true also whenever P is false, which is on rows 1 and 2. And so it also has the same truth table as if P then Q. And this is the fact I'm going to use, okay, for several of these. Okay, so for part A, I have P or not Q. Well, I'm going to use De Morgan's for this one. I'm going to say that this is equivalent to not out front and then put a not P and Q. And this is now following the De Morgan's law where I reverse, I put a negation on the entire statement, I negate each of the things on the inside, and I replace ands with ors. And so just applying De Morgan's law answers this question because it says rewrite it using only not and an and that's all I've got here. So that's part A by De Morgan's rule. Okay, for part B, I'm going to use the thing that I just showed in this little truth table here. It's if P then Q, and I'm going to rewrite that and say that that's equivalent to not P or Q. And now I need it in terms of not and and, so I'm going to apply De Morgan's, and I'm going to say not P and not Q. Okay, so I've negated the entire statement. I've negated the P, or I've negated the thing in front of the or, and I've negated the thing after the or, and I've turned the or into an and that's De Morgan's. So now I've got the whole thing in terms of nots and ands. So that's part B. Part C says if P, then not Q. And that's going to be equivalent to, well, this is just the same as the previous one, except reverse all the Q's. Not P or not Q. And applying De Morgan's to that makes me have a not P and Q. It says they're not both true. Finally, part D is the most involved because it's an if and only if statement. P if and only if Q is equivalent to if P then Q and if Q then P. So now I'm going to turn each of these into an or statement and then apply De Morgan's to both of them. So I'm going to say that this is either not P or Q, is the left-hand side, and either not Q or P. And applying De Morgan's to both of these gives me a not P and not Q, and not Q and not P. I think I've done that correctly. I've negated the entire statement. I've negated the P, the left side. I've negated the right side. The or goes to an and. This and stays. I negate the entire statement, negate the thing on the left, or to and P to not P. Yep. So this is this problem number 10, and I'll stop here on this video.